Hello, I'm Sasha of Sasha Makes Cards, and today I'm sharing how I made this Christmas Rudolph the Reindeer themed light up card featuring Chibitronics products. Now, I have already gone ahead and created the front panel of my light up card featuring this year's Simon Says Stamp collaboration Stamptember set with Picket Fence Studios called Dancer Delivers Christmas. The stamp set features a couple of reindeer images that I thought would be perfect to turn into Rudolph for this card. I thought it would be a really fun idea to have his nose glow bright red, so that is exactly what I did. I created this panel using some masking. I first stamped the reindeer image, then stamped the rooftop, colored it using alcohol markers, ink blended a little sky, did some splattering with white paint. I also created the button that you see there that's already glued onto the card using a sentiment from the stamp set and a circle die that I had laying around. As for everything else that I'm going to be using to create this card, I'm also using the Chibitronics LED stickers color pack. I'm going to be using the red light specifically, the Chibitronics craft stencil, the Chibitronics conductive fabric tape, a battery holder, the 3-volt battery, foam tape, as well as a hole punch to punch a hole onto the card panel so that the light can shine through. The hole punch that I'm using is, I believe it's meant for leather. I'm not entirely sure. I got mine off of Amazon. I'm sure you can buy these types of hole punches at most craft stores, office supply stores, most online stores that supply everything like Amazon. So that's where I got mine. It's perfect for using on these types of projects to allow the light to brightly shine through the card. I can then create the markings using a pencil on the card itself. Today I'm making a US A2 size card. So using a ruler, I measure where the button in the light is going to be based off of the panel I already created and transfer those markings onto my card. I can then place a battery holder onto my card base where the button is going to be and continue making more markings. For the battery holder, you can use the battery holder included in the foam adhesive pack made by Chibitronics and We Are Makers. The pack includes several battery holders as well as some foam tape. However, today I went ahead and made a quick battery holder using a scrap piece of white cardstock. All I did for this was cut a rectangle of cardstock and folded it in half. I could then use the Chibitronics craft stencil to help make some more guidelines for where the conductive fabric tape was going to go. I used the edge of the stencil as a ruler to draw the lines marking the positive end of the circuit and the negative end of the circuit. As well, you can also use the craft stencil to mark out where your LED sticker is going to be placed. I then placed the conductive fabric tape onto my card base, following these guidelines I created using the craft stencil. After placing down the conductive fabric tape, I could then place down the LED sticker. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be using a red colored LED sticker so that Rudolph can have a bright red nose. And after all is said and done, the circuit should be completed. To test to make sure that it works as planned, all you have to do is place your 3-volt battery in the battery holder, push down the flap of the battery holder, your little button, and if it lights up, you're good to go. To close up the battery holder and to make sure that the battery would not move once the card is completed, I placed some foam tape around the battery itself to make sure that it would stay in place. Now, since the height of the battery is higher than that of the foam tape that I am using to create the card, I doubled up on the foam tape to accommodate for the height of the battery. Now, if the foam tape you're using is thicker and it accommodates the height of the battery without having to double up, then you don't have to do this. But because the foam tape I'm using is quite thin and is not as thick as the battery, I did double up so that once the card is all put together and completed, there's not this weird bulky spot where the battery is. Even though I am doubling up the foam tape, it is important to say that the card is still very thin. You will see at the end, when I show the completed card, it is still incredibly thin. It fits perfectly in an envelope, making it very easy to mail out to whoever you would like. So to finish off the card, I peeled the paper backings off the backs of the foam tape, used some liquid adhesive, put it directly on top of the foam tape so that when I am putting the card panel onto the card itself, I have what I like to call a little bit of wiggle room. I find this makes the process a bit easier because sometimes sticking things on foam tape can be a bit of a hassle, especially if you don't line it up perfectly the first time, so I find that this helps. And that is the completed card project. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you liked this video and that you found it helpful. I really enjoyed making this card. I thought using the lights to make the reindeer's nose light up would be such a fun idea, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Be sure to check out the description below for links to the supplies I used to create this card. as well as links to my social media and the Chibitronics social media. Also, if you would like, at the very end, there is a picture of the labeled circuit that I used to create this card, if that helps for reference if you're making this card or a similar card. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.